Howdy everyone, here with the 2018 Mercedes-Benz S560 4Matic Coupe. So, as the name implies, it's an S-Class but in a smaller, still beautiful package. Base price is about $124,000. This particular tester has been equipped with almost $30,000 in extras. So as tested, it's about $152,000 and change. One of the optional extras on this car is a sport package that includes different front and rear fascias. Here's a front. These 19-inch AMG wheels. Sporty side skirts. And this rear fascia with a subtle diffuser. Another optional extra this car wears are the Swarovski crystal headlight accents. So you can see those forming the sort of eyebrow over the LED lights there. That's a $1,750 option. And then you see the pillarless coupe design. It almost has a conceptual look to it. It's just so sleek and pure and beautiful. Here's a close-up of these beautiful taillights. The best angle for these is right here. You can see the 3D effect to them. Trunk goes up. Trunk goes down. This car was pretty much what I expected it to be. It's a big, heavy, luxurious, tech-rich luxury car. It was also surprising in a way. Some cars are gorgeous on the outside and styled beautifully, but when you get to the interior, they're kind of a letdown. But this car was no disappointment inside or out. The inside was just as beautiful as the outside. This is what's under the hood of the S560. It's a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. Not a big surprise from Mercedes these days. They really love this particular engine configuration. In this state of tune, it makes 463 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. That's mated with Mercedes 4Matic permanent all-wheel drive and a 9-speed automatic. This car has the typical Mercedes seat controls here on the door panel. You can adjust the headrest individually of the seat, and then of course the seat back, the bottom, and what I really like, the adjustable thigh bolster. And then you've got the heating and ventilation controls, seat memory as well. These controls are a little out of reach, but they're worth the effort. So right there, you've got the steering assist, a lane keeping assist function, and night vision there in the middle. The head-up display, power rear sunshade, and then the belt presenter. It's a nice feature, but the way I have my seat set up presents a bit of a problem to this function. Right here you've got your command center, you've got your infotainment interface, dial, touchpad, camera system. You've also got a way of raising the car on its air suspension in case you have a bit of rough pavement to go over. And then you've got your dynamic select switch there, auto start stop. And then this button gives you access to a lot of different features. So there's massage functions, various different modes. And then going back here, the dynamic seat means that it'll inflate the side bolsters to hold you in your seat in sharp turns. A lot of cars have heated seats, but in this car you can actually adjust the heating split between the backrest and the bottom of the seat. So as you can see here, not only does this screen give you access to the climate controls, but it also allows you to filter the air and then adjust the intensity of the air freshener, which is located right here in the glove box. This is a really cool feature that I just experienced for the first time in this car. So I'll go in here, and it's got these different kind of spa modes. So I'm sure you can see there, you know, the refresh mode has a different way of calming you down. So this one uses the air freshening system and then seat ventilation. Vitality mode uses 3 different functions in this car to make you feel more awake. The ambient lighting in this car is a little more deluxe than it is in other cars. So if I go into this function, of course I can change the color of the ambient lighting, but this also offers a multicolor mode, and I can even change the intensity of the lighting in different areas of the car. So right there, you know, it splits it front and rear and into different zones. Mercedes added the driver assistance package to my test vehicle, and that particular package is loaded with safety features, some of which you can see right here on the center screen. So I'll just scroll through them very quickly. I've got the driver's seat pulled up. This is the back seat of Mercedes flagship coupe. Beautiful place, and you see the power rear sunshade there. But despite its size and its positioning, you can tell legroom is a little lacking, even though the back seat quarters are nicely furnished. Then you've got the flip down compartment there with cup holders and a storage area. I've got the front seat adjusted to my height. I'm average size, I'm 5'10", so right now the front seat is just the way I like it. And I'm sitting in the back, and as you can tell, legroom is a little lacking. I can't truly comfortably sit behind myself, as you would say. And given how swoopy the roof is on this, sitting back here, I've got enough headroom, but just barely. It's a little tighter than I thought it would be. So what's it like to drive the S560 Coupe? It's very relaxing. So right now I've got it in comfort mode, its most sedate setting. And as you would expect in a car of this price and of a Mercedes and an S-Class, it's very relaxed, it's very quiet, very smooth ride. It's a great way to just pound the miles out. You know, I've made the drive from Austin to El Paso and back several times, and it's a long slog. It's about 550 miles, and I would have no problem doing that kind of trip in this car. It's just very comfortable, very quiet, very civilized, as it should be. A few days ago, I made the trip from Austin to Fredericksburg, which is over an hour, not that long. On the way back, I got the chance to take a more scenic route, more winding roads, challenging roads. So I thought, well, this car has a sport mode, it has a sport plus mode. So I thought, you know what? Let's see how it behaves in those kinds of scenarios, you know, faster speed, more transitions, things like that. And of course, you know, those modes tighten up the suspension and sharpen the throttle response and things like that. They also make the exhaust more vocal. But, you know, that's not really, in my experience with this car over the course of a week, those aren't really this car's strong suits, and they're not really supposed to be. This is not an AMG. This is not meant to be a sports car. It's a big, cushy, comfortable coupe, and it does that incredibly well. To me, what this car was meant to do, it's calling as a vehicle. was to transport people in luxury and comfort and surround them in convenience while they travel long distances. It's the same way with people. You know, there are some things that certain people were just meant to do. I always look at Chris Stapleton. You know, I like his voice. I think he's an incredibly talented artist. And I look at it this way. He was meant to be a singer. If he was somewhere in an office just pushing paperwork, it would be a shame because he was not meant to do that. It would just be a waste of his talents. And that's how it is with this car. You can put it in its sport modes and, you know, drive it really hard, but to me, it just doesn't feel like it's in its element being driven that way. If you let this car do what it does incredibly well, I think it's more satisfying that way. You put it in comfort mode, you set one of the energizing comfort modes, you put your cooled seat on, you get the seat massager going, the air freshener pumping. That's where this car is meant to be, in that spot. Just supreme comfort and relaxation and worry-free long-distance cruising. Now, since you're watching, I will put it in sport mode, sport plus mode, you know. And like I said earlier, they do sharpen the throttle response. Here goes sport. And you can get into the meat of the power more quickly. And you hear the exhaust more, as you should in a sport mode. It's got this nice roar to it. And then here's sport plus mode. Get that nice pop in the background. I hope you can hear it. Such a nice sound. It's a small V8, it's forced induction, but at least what Mercedes is allowing me to hear in the cabin sounds pretty nice. Now, is it AMG sport exhaust loud? Of course not. And, you know, it's not supposed to be. You know, this is the base S Class Coupe. But when you really get into the throttle, it does sound nice. I liken the sound of the exhaust in this car to Shere Khan's voice in the animated Jungle Book. For those of you who have seen that movie, I'm sure you can, you know, recall what he sounded like. You know, he had a very calm, soothing voice, but just under the surface was this latent violence. And that's kind of how it is with this car. Because even in comfort mode, you get a hint of the V8 up front. And then when you get more into the throttle, you know, it becomes more vocal. But particularly in its sport modes, you know, you're moving right along, you just hear a dull roar. But then when you push it hard enough, you know, when you anger it, that's when the real ferocity comes out. And here in a second, I'm gonna get a chance to do a little bit of that. Could it be louder? Yes, but what I am able to hear sounds good to me. Anyway, that's the 2018 Mercedes S560 Coupe. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to There Will Be Cars. Thanks for watching.